the house, the one they talking about. Word of mouth, the Boxing Playhouse, without a doubt. All the latest and greatest boxing news, that's what it's all about.
Hi guys, this is Sakura A and Emilio Santana. This is Boxing Playhouse's special edition because it's a TNK Fight Week, baby. And of course, we got a pro debuter with us tonight that I'm really excited to learn more about because I actually remember seeing him a few times at Couch's Gym, to be more specific. Maybe even a few years back before, you know, pandemic time period. I mean, don't you think you remember this young man?
I'm trying to remember. There was so many people around at that time, but I think, after, you know, once we get to talking, you know, it might ring a bell. You know, I might realize, you know, where we met him from. So
yes,
hopefully so.
And it's going to be his father and trainer as well,
right.
Coach Rick, that's going to be with us too. So we're going to go ahead and introduce these two from the Tampa Bay area, the new professional pro debuter. Yes, we're talking about Isaiah and Rick. Okay, let me get this right. This last name right again. I already messed up. Say it for us.
Riquelmy. Isaiah Riquelmy.
Riquelmy.
Yes, ma'am.
Riquelmy. Sorry about that. I knew I was going to forget it again. I'm sorry.
That's good.
But do you have a moniker, Isaiah? Like a nickname?
You could call me Zay Icon. I'm the icon of boxing. I'm coming up, you know what I mean? So everything that I do, I just decided to be the face of boxing sooner or later. You know what I mean? That's my big goal.
I love that goal because you didn't say I want to make money. You said I want to be a face of boxing, meaning you want championships and legendary status one day, correct?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I want to make sure I have a nice mark in the boxing name, in the boxing era, especially this new era coming up. Something different. Something different with new younger fighters coming up.
Isaiah, okay. What weight class you fighting at?
I'm fighting at 135.
Oh man, that's where all the heat at.
Yes, sir.
Well, if he's starting pro debut in there, that means that, you know, by the time he's like, you know, 18 and 0, you may be like, I don't know, super welterweight, maybe.
Whatever the future holds, I'm ready for any flame. Bring it. I'm with all the heat. You know what I mean? I take all the flames.
I mean, well, all those weight classes down there are starting to be the hottest divisions. Right. So either way, it's gold.
Isaiah, man, how did you get your start in boxing, man?
I actually started when I was real young. I started back when I was 5 years old. Started competing when I was 8. And then we just grew from there. You know, just me and my dad just never separated. You know what I mean? Always had him by my corner, always had him by my side. Never sparred without him, never fought without him. Wow. You know, that's just who my duo is. You can't break an inseparable duo. You know what I mean? Just father-son connection, 13 years strong. You know what I mean? Just continuing.
Did Coach Rick ever fight before, or was it
no?
No.
I did a lot of other sports, martial arts, wrestling, things like that. My parents, well, better yet, my mom didn't want me in the ring. So that conversation was out the door.
Coach, where y'all originally from?
Well, he was born here in Tampa, Florida. I'm originally from Brooklyn, New York. My wife's from Connecticut. So.
Okay.
Oh, Connecticut. That's Tito's home turf, huh?
Yeah, Tito's
from Jesus. I'm sorry. Jesus Escalera. Connecticut area too.
Kalia from New York, right?
Yeah, Kalia is from New York. So yeah, that's a good network that you guys have linked up with. Now I was gonna ask Coach Rick, are you saying that you had a passion for boxing early in your life that made you wish you could have been in boxing?
I did. I remember watching a lot of the greats with my father. You know, as far back as I can remember, the 80s, you know, the Four Horsemen of the 80s, the heavyweights of the 80s, you know, those type of situations. And, you know, it's something that I always wanted to do. Never had the chance until my son was born. And, well, he's the one that chose the sport. needless to say, I was extremely happy.
Oh.
You know? So when you get them from baseball, football, basketball, and boxing,
right,
you chooses boxing. It is what it is.
Right. Hey, Coach, coming up, man, who's your favorite fighter, man, back in the 80s?
I gotta say, all of the Four Horsemen to me were great.
Okay.
I mean, my biggest recollection of always getting excited was Marvelous. Hagler to me was the boogeyman of the division. Not only that, following his stories, his adversities, how he had to change his name to get respect in the game, how he chose to change his mentality because he got tired of getting robbed and taken care, you know, not being loved in the game, and he did what he had to do to make his name. He took it. You know, it was nothing handed to him. He fought his way to the top to become one of the greatest.
Yeah. Isaiah, you ready to take it too?
Yes, ma'am. And I'm always ready. I had a hard camp. Went through, you know, just ups and downs in this camp, just really learning who I am in this camp. Somebody deserved it. And that's something I definitely deserve this win, for sure. Definitely deserve.
I like that
deserve a performance too. Everybody deserves a performance, and I'm gonna put a high class performance up there for sure.
Isaiah, looking at the screen, man, you look a little bit like Reverend Run's son, Diggy, man. I don't know. Yeah, you do.
I never get that one. I usually get Stephen Curry.
Okay.
I look like Stephen Curry, but
yeah, you do. You look like him too, man.
Oh wow! Now I do see y'all icon shirts on, and I see you have your branding already, and just you know, I like that style. I like that purple, of course. Yes, that's one of my favorite signature colors. Right. So, I mean, tell me a little bit about this brand and how you came up. I heard you say icon meant something specific for you. Could you go into detail about that?
Icon, I want to be able to have my face and carved in history when it comes to boxing. You know, like the greats, Ali. You know what I mean? Mike Tyson. You know, the big names like them, you know. So icon is like, you know, how we had Mayweather, you know, so that's kind of how everything got brought upon. You know, IR, that's my initials, you know, so I just put them together. I also got, you know, different sponsorships and different brands that I also, you know, own on my banner. And everything kind of came together a long time ago. I also got Champion's Oath, the C oath on the side of it, and that's just kind of like giving just a champion's mindset through anything you do. I want people to have a champion's mindset through anything. It could be something as business, sports. You know what I mean? Just being an entrepreneur, you gotta have a champion mindset, even with being an entrepreneur. You know what I mean? That's just part of just my character, and that's just a part of what I want people to just, you know, build upon. To have that mindset. I want to be an icon of whatever you want to be.
That's deep. I like that. And it's very positive. Yeah, it's a positive message. And we don't get enough of that for our younger generation these days. And I hate to say it, I just thought of another person that he's reminding me of. Ooh. Javon. Oh, Javon. Yes. I know you've met him before. He's from Philly, and sometimes he trains in Caltas too. He was training with Sherman as well. So you guys got that vibe of like having that entrepreneurial positive spirit, and I love that.
How tall are you, Isaiah?
I'm 5'11".
Oh, he's tall too.
Yeah,
that's tall for the lightweights. Dang.
Yeah, it is.
Wow. So you can grow all the way up until like junior middleweight or middleweight with that height.
Yeah, most likely. Whatever, like I said, whatever the future holds, whatever I decide.
Okay.
Zay, what's your signature punch, man, that you love to throw?
Anything.
Anything
and everything.
If you can handle the flame inside the square circle, then you can't be there. This is how it is.
Hey, Spencer or Crawford?
Crawford.
Crawford?
Easy. Okay. Crawford, easy.
Oh.
That's what I say. But I'm glad to know we're on the same page with that. Now we got Danny Santiago with us, who is a Florida Boxing Hall of Famer and the host of our Latin America version of the podcast.
Danny.
And he says, good luck on your journey.
Thank you, man. Thank you. That means a lot. Journey gonna be long, so you better buckle up for the ride.
Oh, cool.
Absolutely. Like, we're hoping that he can make this fight coming up. But he's a resident of Colombia right now, but hopefully he's supposed to be coming into town. So I'm hoping that he makes that journey.
Isaiah, you know, this Tampa Bay area, man, is bred a lot of world champions, man. Are you ready to take the torch and run with it?
Of course. Of course. To be honest, I really want to build my own torch.
Oh, okay.
I want to follow my own footsteps. You know, like I said, build my journey. My journey is different from everybody else's. That's a fact.
Definitely.
I mean, this really is going to take a different breed of and character of a person in order to try to rebuild some things that's, you know, in the last few years have been, you know, kind of decreasing. And fan exposure, is fan excitement, you know, and just the fan experience that comes with watching someone that you love, like how your father, you know, and Coach Rick is saying he enjoyed when he was growing up. So I think that it makes a great team between the two of you, that you both have, you know, that mindset that it has to be something different than what we've been accustomed to in the last couple of years. Now, one thing I was going to ask you about is if you were champion tomorrow. It's a hypothetical, but if you was a champion tomorrow, what's the first thing that you think you would want to change about the boxing game right now?
Truthfully, what I would want to change about the boxing game is the amount of belt series in the division. I'm just saying. But anyways, I would want to. I feel like there's not much intense entertainment in the game no more. I feel like that's something that the game is lacking. There's no storyline behind anything no more. You know, everything's either social media based, and I'm not too big on the lip boxing over social media. That's just not my thing. But I just feel like there's got to be more to it. I feel like, you know, with who is that? All Access, like how All Access is doing or was doing back when Mayweather was a big thing. And you seen the big storyline behind the fight. Right. You know, behind the scenes. I would love for people to see more of that. I would want people to see the true. Back then, when the Four Horsemen, you seen, if they were scared, they say they're scared. If they was nervous, they say they're nervous. You know what I mean? You don't get that no more. You don't get the true transparency of people. So through my journey, I would want people to know my ups and downs to my journey before I even turn pro. You know, while I'm in pro, each training camp, I would want people to know, you know what I'm saying, my just everything. People are gonna know everything, especially when I become champion. When I become champion, it's a whole different ball set. Everybody's gonna know everything about me, and it's like people are gonna have a connection through social media, through whatever platform, to already know me as a person. You know what I mean? Just try to know me as a person. That's kind of like what I want with people in the business, in the industry, in the world, you know, internationally.
Yeah, that sounds like a great plan, for sure. And also the other question, you know, I always got a sneak question in here.
Yes, ma'am.
Where are we at on girlfriend status? I mean, do you have a girlfriend?
No, ma'am. I'm very much single and focused. That's what I am.
Yeah, Dad, I know you're glad to hear that.
Single and focused.
Absolutely. Time and a place for everything. This is not it.
Isaiah, I want to know, man, when people watch you box, have anybody ever compared you to any of the fighters of the past or anybody today?
No. They say that I fight like me. I don't want to, like I said, I don't want to replicate. I'm not a replicator. I'm an originator.
You're not Southpaw, are you?
I am Southpaw.
Oh, you are Southpaw? Oh,
yes, sir.
Wow.
Yes, sir.
How many years did you actively, you know, participate in the amateurs?
I mean, I participated all throughout my years. It's just my dad, you know, he decides when I do fight and when I don't fight. And if I have a mistake that I haven't fixed, I won't fight. You know what I mean? That's one thing that we're big on. We're big on technique. We're big on fixing our problems while it's there. You know what I'm saying? And if there's a new problem that gets exploited, fix it before we get back in the ring. That's just something that we kind of like embedded in myself. Technique is the biggest thing in boxing. Technique is what leads you. You know what I'm saying? Keeps you there. When you get tired, technique. When you get hurt, technique. You know what I'm saying? From the jump. When you're nervous, technique. It's all about the technique.
I said, weight, man. I was gonna ask you making weight because you look good. You don't look drained or nothing. And I know the fight, you know, the weigh-in is tomorrow, man. How is it making weight? Making weight was actually pretty good, pretty smooth. Everything was good. Water was good. From my mother and my father, you know, them providing me with great, you know, nutritions. Just have a great team behind me, you know what I mean? So just have a little team, especially with my sister, just helping me out with everything. Making weight was no problem. What you want to eat after the fight, man? The next day, what you want to eat? Well, I actually got a good friend of mine. He bought me my first steak. So we just waiting for that. So then after the weigh-ins, you know, my girl bought half a steak. I don't know if I could eat a full steak. My stomach a little bit. So, you know, I don't know if I can eat a full steak right now. But we gonna eat some. Ate a lot of them. For sure.
Yeah. His daughter always telling us about how many pounds of meat he would eat during training. Yeah. You know, just wow. All right, so we got TNK Boxing Promotions with us, and they say you guys won't want to miss it. Absolutely.
Angel.
And let's see. We got Danny saying, this young man seems to have a great head on his shoulders.
Definitely.
I'm not usually impressed, but Icon looks what?
Looks lying.
What did it say? Look. I don't know if he meant, I don't know if what he looks fine is what he probably meant. Then Brian says,
future champion.
Future champion. All right. Sir. We got Julie. She says single and focused.
Who's Julie?
That's your mom.
That's my auntie.
Oh, your auntie, just as bad. I knew it was, I felt that energy. I felt that energy. What's up, Julie? All right, so we got Danny Santiago again saying Icon very impressive. Oh, let's see. Looks like he has a great head on his shoulders. I'm going to keep my eyes on him.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what it was supposed to say.
Appreciate it.
And we got Angel Ilaraza, our junior middleweight that's on the card for TNK Boxing the same night. He says fire. Tommy Turner, who's also on the card. He's going to be coming in at super middleweight. He says, you know, box, pow, thumbs up. It's nice to have support from other boxers that's also going to be on the card. I mean, they offer great support, which is something that's, you know, a little bit different than some cards that I see here in the Tampa Bay area. So I really appreciate the love and the shout outs that they're giving you right now.
Definitely appreciate everything. All the support from everybody, my sponsors, my family, you know, just I appreciate everything. It's like a dream come true right now. 13 years strong. Finally. That's all I gotta say. Finally.
Finally, yeah.
Isaiah, how many rounds is gonna be? About 3 or 4?
Whatever it is. If I decide, if he can't hold the heat, like I said, I got flames in both my hands, thunder in both of my hands.
Okay.
I think the boxing commission would probably agree that it's 4. Yeah. For a pro debut, it's usually 4. What is going on? All right. Let's see. We got Jessica. Jessica says, all the way from PA. You got this.
Julia Santos.
You got this. All right. I like it. Thanks, Jessica. And then Julie, she's also sending out bombs and fire. And
that's my nephew.
That's right. That's her nephew.
Santos.
She ain't playing. uh-oh, you might have some problems later on, because she gonna be like, if she see a girl trying to approach you, you gonna, I don't know what she might do. She gonna have one of them church fans like back in the day, like, get on, get on. But we do have a surprise for you tonight. But first, before we give you that surprise, we definitely have to talk about these hot topics. And since you guys have an interesting boxing aspect on things that's different than most, you know, modern boxers, I just have to know, like, who you got in these scenarios, as well as, I mean, how would they win? So, of course, today we did have an announcement. We had AJ talking about Wilder again, which kind of surprised me. But he's saying that he's elite. He's an elite boxer, and not Wilder, which he's referencing as a tomato can. So he's thinking that, you know, if it came to another opportunity of a fight, he feels that he's got enough to beat Wilder, basically. I mean, what do you guys think about this? Emilio, you want to go first? I don't know what to say, man.
I think if they fight, I think Wilder would knock AJ out, man. I don't think AJ had a chin to take what Wilder has, you know. Skill-wise, you know, Joshua looks, you know, fundamentally more sound than Wilder, you know, but that chin, I think if Wilder catch him, I don't think Anthony can handle Wilder power. You're gonna get touched.
I mean, I definitely, it definitely do take one crazy hammer from that man. But I would say I would probably agree with you. I definitely do agree that Anthony Joshua is more technically sound. You know, just got, you know, the jab is right, especially when he got remember after the second Andy Ruiz fight. He looked better in that fight. Actually used his reach, but that reach advantage ain't gonna do much with Deontay Wilder. What do you think about it?
I mean, it all depends. Right, boxing is 12 rounds, and I personally think the only thing that Wilder has is that hammer, is that thunder.
Right.
And I think the Joshua camp will be smart enough to try to neutralize it, give it that Tyson Fury already exposed that, how to slow it down. So I would give the fight to Joshua if it would go to distance, most definitely, and definitely give it, you know, the Wilder's going to have the first 5 rounds of that heavy thunder. Joshua can keep his chin tucked and just neutralize it with his jab hand and keep it away from him. He'll survive. And technically, I think that Wilder lacks, you know, the man was, I don't take anything away from him being the champion. He held the title, the whole nine, you know, all respect to everything that he's done, especially at the time he got in his career. But he lacks a lot of fundamental skills.
Right.
To go ahead and I think showcase good against a fighter like Joshua. Joshua has learned how to lose and come back. You know, he's dealt with everything, and he just seems like he's more mentally sound.
Okay. Well, guys,
what you think?
I mean, those are all good points you all made. I just never have been confident in an AJ chin. That's one thing. And then two, I feel like it also depends on what AJ we see in that particular fight. Is he going to come in the muscle bound AJ again and try to like really kind of use his physicality to his advantage? Or are we going to see a slim down version and who might try to outbox Wilder? Like, I would have to see. It's one of those things where I wouldn't know until weigh-in day, really. And I want to see, like, do I see all these muscles back again? I'm not trying to be funny, but
it's definitely facts. It's definitely facts.
Yes,
if he come in on bodybuilder,
right?
Nah, I don't think he'll be loose on his feet like he was, you know, Andy Ruiz too. You know what I mean? I don't think he'll be loose on his feet like that. Nor do I think he got a body mass, truthfully, bigger than Tyson Fury. You know, to put weight on Wilder, like Tyson Fury did. I don't know. Even though Anthony Joshua does have all the muscles, I don't think he can do that physically, because Tyson Fury could get up to 300 and still be like loose on his feet, you know, and just not too many heavyweights can do that. You know what I mean? So that's healthy. He's healthy at 275. You know, he's not too many people are healthy at 275, especially not Anthony Joshua.
Isaiah, I got a quick text, man. A few girls want to know how old you are.
You want his auntie to come? You want her to like, come out with her bedroom slippers on, right?
They texted me, man.
I'm 18 years old.
18, okay.
It's young.
18, y'all.
Okay, 18 years old. Now, what I like to point out that he's 18 and look at all this knowledge, boxing knowledge he's spitting at us right now tonight, just on a few topics.
You see what his auntie say? Tell him to ask me.
Uh-oh.
She got the fist.
Tell him to ask me. She's not playing. Oh my goodness. Miss Julie, I like you. But now let's see. TNK also is saying, seen him in the amateurs, and we are so glad to have him debut with our company.
That's what's up.
That's what's up. All right, TNK Boxing Promotions, love it. Let's see. Jessica is laughing. I know that's right. Yeah, she says she likes me too. Well, thank you, baby. Hey. We know how to gang up in this situation. Plus, I like all females that love boxing. So, I mean, there's so few of us, right?
Yes, ma'am.
But I was just going to say, with this whole AJ thing, before we wrap that particular subject up, I'm just like, why are we talking about this fight again? I mean, we ain't bring that. Listen, it's like we done seen this particular hype up before, and it equaled out to big fat zero.
About like 3-4 times already.
Say what?
You shouldn't even be talking about Wilder right now. You got Usyk to deal with.
And I think the biggest problem is that he's not making the same money they could make with Wilder against Usyk. It's all the money game. You know, let's bring it back to the big two titans of what once was, right? When they were negotiating, they were both undefeated. Now they both got losses.
Right.
So the money's not going to be as high as it was, but it's still still a colossal heavyweight fight. It's one that's going to be entertaining and people want to see. So it's basically the money behind it.
Yeah.
Rick, you think if Joshua lose again, you think people will still be interested to see him fight?
I think so, because I believe, and British fans are something different. UK fans are something different.
Right.
They're loyal. They follow. Once they love who you are, win, lose, or draw, they have that following. You know, it's almost like Mexican fans. You know, you got Mexican champions that win and they lose. Don't matter. Their fan base stays the same. People will come see them all over the world the same way. And I think the UK has that. So I guess it also depends on how he loses.
Right.
So if he loses on the scorecards, no, it's boxing, right?
Yeah.
Right.
You get put to sleep in the second round. You know?
Now, and just remember that AJ is training with the Garcia family from California in Oxnard. So we're going to see, based on how he kind of like trained some of his main boxers there, I mean, we could look to see a more aggressive AJ. I don't see how else you would be able to do that.
I mean, I don't know. I also don't know if his chin is going to benefit that style either.
Damn, now you're with me. He's on my wavelength. He be thinking the same things I'm thinking.
You can't fight like a dog all the time if your chin is glass. You know what I mean? You can't. That's just not something that fits well together. It's like two negatives: glass chin, bully ball style. Can't do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they don't go together, right? You're right. Definitely don't go together. So let's go ahead and move to the next particular topic. The hot topic next we has to do with heavyweights as well. We got a Joel Joyce versus Joseph Parker bout scheduled for September. So, I mean, I just want to know, like, what do you guys think about this fight? is this even a competitive bout? Do you see this being something that could actually be like a gladiator type fight? I'm the verdict is still out for me on this one, but each has their different attributes, but they also have some different flaws. So, who wants to go first?
I don't think Parker has it anymore, personally.
Okay.
He's had a lot of tough fights. This is definitely one that he is going to get tested. And for me, I guess you could put it like a 60-40. You know what I mean? Being in that division, anything can possibly happen at any given time, right? You go to sleep, one punch, a jab, doesn't really matter. You carry that kind of power behind it, but my money would definitely be against Parker.
Whoa, okay. Go ahead and tell us what you're thinking, Isaiah.
I don't really know much about none of these fighters.
Okay.
I don't want to really speak too much on them because there's nothing for me to speak upon. You know what I mean? But
okay.
The heavyweights, anything can happen. That's all I can say. It's a sales game. You get hit in the right spot. You big, power, 12-ounce gloves, or 8-ounce gloves, or 10-ounce gloves. Yeah. So I mean, I can't really say too much.
Yeah, that's a great point about, heavyweights, anything can happen, and it does. And when you got great matchups per se. And Emilio, I mean, they've said it basically, I mean, in a way that they think Joseph Parker might, not have what it takes anymore. Is he just collecting checks? I don't know. But to me, he's always been very inconsistent. Things are always up and down as to what Joseph Parker we see, and it has no rhyme or reason. He looked not so good against AJ, then turned around in the very next fight and looked like he was the next, great world champion at heavyweight. These are issues that I've always had with him. It doesn't allow me to be able to support him 100%. But like, with that being said, if a good Parker comes in, then what we have is a Joe Joyce who has a wonderful jab. I mean, that's his main deal. Is that good old 1-2, right? It's jabbed and it's a 1-2. But it is very, very clear to me that like a game boxer will be able to figure out this pattern, and they could probably set him up for, set him up for some good punches to be landed based on that pattern if they figure it out. But it still depends. It's more like it depends on what Parker shows up. So I'm gonna have to leave like corn on this one.
I mean, the jab game of Joyce should be able to, at this stage of the game, basically neutralize anything that Parker's going to come at him. Whether he's going to try to come forward, whether he wants to try to box him. It's undeniable. His jab game is a lot stronger. Win the rounds, jab him out. Don't overkill yourself. Don't overexert yourself. And then as the fight goes on, just start picking it up because, it's going to be eventually. Parker can only try to dip and dodge jab for so long before he starts to slow down.
Right. Emilio, what you got? Who you got?
Yeah, I kind of think Joe Joyce is a little fresher. As young as he is, he looked kind of slow to me. Like his punches be kind of slow motion.
Telegraphic.
Yeah, he looked kind of slow. And then I was surprised when he beat Daniel Dubois. He surprised me in that fight. But I think he's fresh and young enough. And like Rick said, I think Joseph Parker is kind of on a decline. So if I had to pick, I would get a slight edge to Joe Joyce. Being a younger, fresher man, he do got the heavy hands, and I think he'll use his weight to an advantage and probably wear Parker out a little bit. So I would probably get him the slight edge.
Okay, not a problem. I'm okay with both scenarios. You know how it is. We're not talking about the top tier of heavyweights. We also have a Luis Ortiz versus Andy Ruiz fight coming up. So we're starting to like get down and, you know, really grind out some other, you know, levels to this game to see who still has what it takes to be in that top 3 to 4.
Hey Rick, are y'all got any Latin heritage in y'all?
No, we all Puerto Rican.
Puerto Rican. Oh, okay. That's my sister-in-law Santos.
Sissy-in-law, she mean business.
Santos.
We do have a comment from Julie that he's a champ in our eyes. He and his family support behind him all the way. Go hard.
I know Julie gonna be at the fight, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Go hard.
Say hey to us, Julie, when you see us.
Yes, for sure. She says, go hard or go home, and we not going home empty-handed. We love you and so proud of you. Can't wait to see you do your thing. All right. Now, there going to be some problems if you don't deliver. You know that, right, Isaiah? She ain't going to be happy too much
They
of
ain't got to worry about that. They don't got to worry about that at all. I'm definitely going to deliver.
She did sound kind of confident, right? She sounded really confident.
Of course. Everything all caps.
All caps. Okay, keep screaming that. She gonna be in the front row. That's what she said. Hey.
Front row.
Absolutely.
That's what's up.
Don't worry, he's going to deliver.
She know it well too.
All right, so let's look at this fight card again. It is August the 6th. And we're talking about All or Nothing. This is at the St. Pete Marriott Clearwater location on Roosevelt Boulevard here in St. Pete. And you can go ahead and get your tickets at www.TNKBOXING.com, or you can hit up one of these amazing boxes on the card, including Isaiah, to get your tickets today. This card, alert, is starting early, guys. This is it's just going to start a little earlier than normal. The doors will open at 5. And we hope to be having the first bout at least by 6 to 6:15. So please make sure you're in your seats before this time. You know, sometimes we fans, we do get, into a little habit of, well, we got a little time. Oh, they don't never start until, 8, so just letting everybody be aware that this one will be starting a little earlier, and you don't want to miss Isaiah in his pro debut. Now, let's go ahead and talk about the main event too, which is our Taz Carice Brown. She's also going to be, if she wins this fight, guys, she's going to be in the top 10 of women in her division. The bout is for a National Boxing Association belt. And the thing that I love about TNK Boxing that I have to mention is that this is the only promotional company in Florida that has put on a female main card in at least the last, before he was doing it, it's probably about a good 8 or 9 years that went by, because Chevelle Hallback would have been the last one to get a main event status. And she came back after a hiatus. She came back, and her first main event card was on TNK Boxing as well. So I definitely, Isaiah, want to make sure that I can count on you to support women in boxing throughout your career, because it's going to take some amazing men like yourself and your father to help, usher in this new wave of female talent in boxing. Yes,
ma'am. Of course. Definitely gotta support the women.
Okay. All right. So I got his confirmation on that. He said that and it's recorded, right? Okay. so you there.
Julie said in the corner, if they let me, she said, don't meet me there, beat me there.
Julie, we're gonna have to get you on that boxing commission, that Florida Boxing Commission website to get your license for this corner situation now. Now, speaking of corners, we're finally ready to introduce our amazing surprise guest that we have secured for you. And for our audience who love this particular trainer here in the Tampa Bay area and the Washington, D.C. area, we have Trainer Sherman Henson with you tonight.
Hey, what's up? What's up? What's up, everybody?
So now I had to bring you on so you can surprise Isaiah, mainly because of the fact that I know that you had told me in the past he's one to look for, and that also you had had some, you know, interactions and some training with him in the past. So tell me what it is exactly that you, Henson, what you like about this kid.
This kid is just, he's one in a million. He's that diamond that is in the rough.
Wow.
This kid is truly, I mean, he's everything you look for in a person as well as in a boxer, you know, and you know, he's a young gentleman, but you put him in the ring, he becomes a young beast.
Wow.
And that's what he is. You know, this kid is just, you ask him for something, he'll give it to you. You know, and that's everything. You know, I've been with him and I've watched this kid grow into what he is today. You know, there's nothing like him out there today. Nothing like him out there today. You know, he's amazing. He's amazing. And he will be a world champion. That's without saying. That's without saying.
You know a little bit about that. So that means a lot. I mean, Isaiah, how does it feel to have a man of his caliber, you know, speaking your praises?
I mean, it's definitely a blessing for sure. I remember when back when Silky Wookie, a good friend of mine, he had a boxing gym called Bulldogs back in the day. That's where I first met Sherman. I was on the bag. My dad was pushing me. I was a little kid at the time. I was crying, you know, balling. Sherman taught me something on the bag, got me to it. And ever since then, it was a great journey with him. It's always been a great journey with him. Great guy. Definitely cared about me like if I was one of his own. You know, he was just as hard as me too. Pool workouts, I remember them. Pool workouts was tough. You know, band workouts was tough. Gym workouts was tough. You know, he definitely saw the crucial moment in my career so far. Definitely saw the crucial moment in my career. And I definitely hands up to him. You know what I mean? Just that's definitely one of my favorite trainers. Definitely that's my man. That's my man for sure.
Absolutely. And you have a lot of angels on your side, like Silky Wilkie Canford, because he did get in my inbox and remind me that I needed to have you on the show. And I said, oh yeah, I'm on it. I don't know why I keep forgetting. I had a passing in my family last week, so it kind of like threw me off. But yeah, so I like I'm saying, I'm glad that he was able to make that connection and remind me. And then afterwards, I also asked Sherman about you, and that's when I'm like, really? Okay. So I'm glad and thankful that you guys, you know, were able to give your okay to be on our show tonight, you and Coach Rick.
We're grateful to be invited onto the show.
Let me tell you something about both of them. Okay, you know, as a trainer, Rick is not. He's not the typical father trainer. Rick is not the typical father trainer where he pampers Isaiah. He's not the typical. He's not. You know, I've been around father trainers where they want to pamper their sons and give them easy work. Rick looks for the hardest work he can to put Isaiah in there with. because he wants the best. He wants Isaiah to to get that hard work. He wants Isaiah to see what it is to be in there with someone that's above him, because that's what's going to make him better. That's what's going to make him better. If he can't take the pressure in a sparring session, then how is he going to take the pressure in a real fight? And that's what really turns me on about Rick. Rick and I have that, we have that mindset alike. We can stand there and we can communicate, and it's like, wow, we're right the same sheet of music, and we're right there, we're right there at the Rick brings the best out of me as a trainer also, and that's the same thing. It's like when a can bring the best out of another trainer, right? That's a great thing. When a fighter, when the trainer can bring the best out of another fighter, that's the great thing as well. So you got to understand that when Rick and Isaiah are together, it's not father son, it's trainer fighter, it's trainer boxer. That's what that is. Okay, it's not that old father son type matchup. Great thing about that.
I want to know something right now. Who is this trying to get in touch with you? Interrupted my show.
It's my fiance. It's Michelle. It's Michelle.
Well, I like Michelle, but you must didn't tell her, because I know she wouldn't do this to me.
I did. This came as a surprise to me. Because it was like, okay.
Don't say it again,
and
say it again.
Don't get in trouble,
it was like,
Sonny.
hey,
we gonna have to let you get off this phone for you be in serious trouble.
In the doghouse.
You know the story. a happy wife, a happy life. Yeah. Rick knows that better than I do.
I'm gonna get back to Isaiah though, because I like what you were saying about Coach Rick and how like he doesn't pamper him or allow him to get away with certain things just because it's that father-son love. And that's something that we don't see with a lot of father-sons. They either get themselves in these situations, especially fight night, when things sometimes don't go the way that things are planned. We see that there are some fathers that placate their sons. I mean, I saw it just the other week when this particular boxer, he wasn't doing what he was supposed to be doing, things that I know his dad knew that he could do, and his dad was like, "Oh, you're doing great." Say what? That were two fathers in the corner, right? I'm like, what fight is he watching? Like, no, we're not doing this. But yeah, they do it. I mean, Coach Rick, what do you think about them type of scenarios when they happen on fight night?
I mean, that I give respect for any fighter that gets in the ring, no matter what. Any coach that takes a fighter to the ring and put in work, respect for everybody. But it's got to be a certain understanding of what you're performing and what you expect. If you're sitting on TV and you're watching the greatest, and you're saying that's the way it's supposed to be, it's the way it's supposed to look, how are you going to expect your child to do anything less when you know the barometer where you need to be? You know the level where he needs to perform. Anything other than that, you're not doing your job. You're allowing them to lie to themselves, to cheat themselves. It's a false sense of security, and that ring exposes all. They don't take in consideration when you go up in the ring. Training camp is one thing. Mental fortitude is another. Nerves is another. That impact that they feel, whether you sitting in the bleachers saying, "Oh, he didn't hit him that hard." Well, he wasn't on the end of that punch. There's a lot of different factors that I personally feel that as a father, first of all, then as a trainer, I need to give him all the tools necessary to perform. Because once he steps in the ring, he's the one that's got to implement what we taught him. That's it. At that point, you can't teach a fighter new moves on fight day. It's game over. So if he wasn't mentally prepared by that, that means he was placating him in sparring sessions, in the training session. He was making excuses during that time frame. So when it comes fight time, how you train is how you fight. And that goes the same for the coaches and the team. How you train your fighter is how you're going to get exposed the day of the fight.
That's important.
Hey, Rick, how you felt about when Kenny Porter stopped the fight with his son and Crawford?
I think it was a smart move, and I'll tell you why. At that stage, he knew for a fact his son wasn't going to win. And with a guy as dangerous as Crawford, had he let him go in the way Porter was hurt, I think Crawford would have done a lot of damage. So it's not like Crawford is not a heavy hitter. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's not that. And the way he had dropped Porter, he was beating on Porter throughout the rounds towards the end of the fight.
Right.
You can tell it was bad. And not only as a father, but as a trainer, once you look at your fighter's eyes, you're going to know if he's safe. That's first and foremost. One thing is that, are you mentally and physically safe to continue? That's the most important thing. Can you survive? Can you defend yourself? If you can't, then you need to stop that, and it's the right call. He can get mad all he wants, and it was the right call because you saw Porter didn't argue. He didn't fight. He didn't protest because he knew it was the right call. Porter wasn't going to give up. So that is the dynamic that a father-son combination would know. I know for a fact that if he's ever in a fight, he's not going to stop. No matter what, he's not going to stop. Now, there's that thin line between being a coach, a father, and irresponsible.
Right, right.
You know, first and foremost, you have to be responsible for him in the ring.
I was never opposed to the stoppage as much as I was. I just didn't like the way that he talked about him after the fight.
That's a different ballgame. That's completely different than the stoppage. I agree with you. Right, he should not have said the things he said in that fight. I agree.
Yeah. I mean, but as far as the stoppage is concerned, because his head wasn't in the game at that point, you know, you saw the frustration that Porter was feeling at that moment. He was very passionate about it, and it was on display. That meant to me, as a coach, I'm thinking, okay, he's already lost that focus and that concentration needed to be in there against a prize fighter to the level of one Bud Crawford. So I definitely thought that it was okay.
I think had he not pounded the ground, I don't think Kenny would stop the fight. That showed him that point right there. What are you doing? You lost all control of what's about to happen in the next couple of minutes of this fight. So rather than him going in there and potentially, God forbid, something really bad happening to him, he knew he wasn't going to win the fight. He was going to, you know, he already got paid. Real at that point. You know what I mean?
Let's not forget that. Yes.
Let's go ahead and let's call it done before your eyes look worse than what they were already looking. Let's go back. But family business, just like fighter trainer business, stays in the gym, stays at home.
Okay.
That other stuff, I mean, I didn't agree with it. To each his own, but after the interview and what was said, I didn't agree with it.
Hey, Rick, I know you just said he got paid. What do you think about Don King not paying Daniel Dubois?
Yes.
Yeah, it's obviously clear that Don King must have forgot when he tried that with Tyson, and Tyson went over to his mansion and whooped his ass for not paying him. Not once, but twice. So I guess he didn't get enough of that. But you know what? It goes down to this too. You got to make sure your money's secure.
Right.
As a fighter and as a promoter, coach, you got to make sure your money's secure. Everybody's in the boxing business to make money. Right. And unfortunately, not everybody in the boxing business is honest. So you have to make sure that your money's right before you step in the ring and risk your life because that's what
I
these
think it
fighters are
was
doing.
that WBA title, you know, kind of like probably made him go through with that fight. Had it, you know, sometimes when you came over across, you know, the seas to basically, you know, secure this championship belt so you can have leverage for your next bout. You know, I think that might have made him go against, or made his team go against their better judgment.
And my personal opinion as a coach, and this is something that he was saying to changing the game. Whatever happened to let your performances, your victories, your knockouts determine the opportunities you're going to get. Everybody wants to go ahead and get the belt to get opportunities. Everybody wants the ABC alpha. That's why we got so many belts.
Right.
You know, so it doesn't matter. If you don't get a chance now, you keep knocking out people. You keep stopping people. You keep doing what you're going to do. Eventually, they're going to give you that shot. And you're going to look impressive doing it. And you're never going to have to sell yourself to the sanctioning bodies, to a promoter, because you don't feel that after this, I'll never get the opportunity. You keep putting people to sleep. You keep doing your job. Eventually, the world is going to ask you and give you that position that you require. Floyd Mayweather did it best. How many times did he vacate the titles? You don't tell me to do what? You must be out your mind. Here you go, take it. And if more fighters were to do that, I personally believe that it will take that control that all these ABC belts have on these fighters. That's just me. It's my opinion and my little assessment of the way things has been, you know, compared to what they used to be to what they are today.
Hey, that's pretty on point right there.
Yeah, I agree with 150% of what you just said there. Yeah, and it's great that you got that mindset before you even, you know, as a pro debuter. Many don't have that knowledge by the time, you know, when they enter into the arena of professional boxing.
I've had good teachers coming in. Mr. Sherman has definitely been one. Everybody who's always been around us has been experienced, good people in the game. I think in the cumulative, if you put them all together, it's almost like 250 years of boxing.
Woo! Wow. Oh, wow.
You know, so
knowledge.
I don't know anything. I don't know anything in the game. I still don't know anything in the game because I'm going to learn something new every day. I'm going to be able to talk to somebody that's going to teach me something I did not know.
Yeah, you're always in a bad spot when you don't want to learn anything new and you think you know everything. So that's a great mindset.
Hey, Rick, is you taller than your son?
I am. About 1 inch right now.
Oh, okay.
Wow, okay.
I was last week. I'm out of
You was last week?
I don't know. Is that growing. Day coming? Is like is he literally still growing?
He's 18.
Yeah, they're still growing. It's still growing.
Let me tell you something. You asked Isaiah what was his best punch, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I think that body shot is a good punch.
Oh.
You know, because Isaiah hit me with one of those one day. We were in the ring.
Body shot.
With a body shot. We were doing mitts. Am I correct, Isaiah? And
you got in the ring multiple times. You got to be more specific.
Yeah. I mean, the kid. I'm gonna put it to you plain and simple. The kid has some very good hands. He has very good footwork. His technical skills are second to none. And I heard you talking about his technical skills. Like his dad, like he said, he's constantly working on technical skills. That is a lost art in boxing. It's a totally lost art in the game of boxing. Very few trainers work on technical skills because everything has to work together. It's like a machine. If the certain parts of the machine isn't working, then the machine doesn't work. So,
well, what the hell are they working on if they're not working on technique?
Guess what? They're working on looking pretty and letting their fighter do what he wants to do. That's what they're working on. What what Rick is not letting Isaiah do is work on what Isaiah wants to do when Isaiah wants to do it. Okay? It all has to work together. Everything has to work together. It's not this, okay, I'm going to do this and try to look pretty, because you don't score points looking pretty. You score points when you're landing good, crisp punches, when you're moving your feet, getting out of the way of a punch, right? That's when you're scoring punches. When you're able to counter punch and land a punch, when you're able to block a punch, defend. Those are the things that you're scoring off of. When your movement, when you're controlling the ring, when you're controlling the action of what's going on. This kid has learned. He's done that as an amateur. I've watched him do it as an amateur and lose fights. But guess what? He don't put his head down. Guess what? We go back to the gym and we work on some more. You work on some more. And you say, okay, no problem. But Isaiah has never really had an amateur style of boxing. Isaiah's always had a professional style of boxing.
Mm-hmm.
He's been trained as a professional from day one.
Mm-hmm.
He's been trained as a professional.
Right there, because like, yeah, that does cause you to have some issues with amateurs. But I got some, quirks with them, but I'm gonna for another day. We do got some comments to fill in here, and then we'll let everybody go because it's getting late. Plus, we got fights this weekend, right, Isaiah? I mean, we got to get prepared. You got to get your sleep.
Of course, I definitely got to get my sleep.
Okay, Sherman.
Yeah, okay, I got to make a call.
Hit William Hunter's comments.
Isaiah, I was curious with the Olympics, man. Was that something that you thought about or wanted to do, and how do you feel about the situation of it right now?
Well, to the first part of that question, Olympics hasn't really been. No, I was never interested in the Olympics. I always felt like it was too much politics behind it. You know what I mean? I already had trouble with the politics in the local, you know what I'm saying, in the local areas when it comes to amateur boxing. You know what I'm saying? There's not a lot. In the amateurs, people don't know boxing. It's plain and simple. People don't know boxing as judges in the amateurs. But how it is right now. I always felt like after the pandemic, the Olympics has been at its all-time lowest. You know what I mean? It seems like even pride went out the door when it comes to Olympics. You know what I mean? You don't have too many people really focusing on the 2024 Olympics. Like, you don't have people focusing on that too much. And truthfully, I don't know why. Even though we still have greats to come out of the Olympics. Clarissa Shields about to have her fight come up. Only female, only American two-time gold medalist. That's a big deal. You know what I mean? And people, it's not appreciated like that. She's the greatest on-paper female boxer in history. And it's really not too much appreciated. You know what I mean? So I feel like to a certain degree, it definitely gives you a far jump start when it comes to professional boxing. But either way, the angle is still there. Angle is the same thing. You know what I mean? Right. Regardless if I had an Olympic background or not, my angle would be the same exact thing that I told you from the jump.
I just always felt like there's a reason why the USA hasn't had a gold medalist male, for what, over a decade or two? Yeah. I believe Andre Ward was the last male gold medalist. So wow. That's saying a lot in itself. This man is retired and already a Hall of Famer, an international Hall of Famer.
Well, I got a question for you to think about. Look at the era of the U.S. male gold medalist from that point back to this point forward. That tells you that something changed in the boxing training dynamic. Something changed in the grind, the ability to actually, the know-how to really be an excellent professional, an excellent amateur boxer, win the Olympics, and easily transition to the professional ranks. That means they were taught right from the beginning, all the way through, with the plan of turning pro. So right now, a lot of, and he said it best, a lot of internet superstars.
Yeah, and corruption has been so bad that the Olympic committee, you know, has pretty much canceled boxing from as a sport in 2024. Like, that's just shocking. But the fact that they had tried to clean it up for at least 10 years before and have still come to the conclusion, yeah, they got to sit it out for a while. Maybe we'll bring them back later if they can show us changes.
Last Olympics, we had two. Well, how many we had? 2, 3 silver medalists. You know, and I can't really say too much on where they're at right now. If you gave the time that they was compared to, let's say Mayweather, when Mayweather just got out the Olympics, moving, got way more publicity. I'm pretty sure he held the belt in 2 years after the Olympics. You know,
right? Yeah. I understand what you're saying.
Who just came out?
I know Shakur Stevenson was the last silver medalist, and he fought against Robisi. I think his name is Robisi Ramirez. And we all see how, you know, those two careers, how it showed the difference, the contrast when they got to the professionals as to who was really the better boxer. So these are things that I feel like we could work on. Let's get to William Hunter's statement from Right Hook Boxing out of Biloxi, Mississippi. I call him the Hunter. And he says, we got so many belts because once you get one, you're no longer ranked in the other. Takes away mandatory fights. That's why we never get any good fights while fighters are in their prime. Not many promotions can afford unification bouts and pay for multiple sanctioning bodies at one time.
That's on point.
It's a money thing. It's always been a money thing.
It is. It's, you know, and William is right. He's dead on. You know, they should still stay ranked in the other belts, with the other belts. Right. And that would definitely make it more lucrative for everyone, and it would make it much more fun, better for everyone to watch, because now you have a guy with one belt fighting for another belt, which makes it much better.
I mean, one of the things, Sherman, and you got to take a look at this. It's unfortunate, right? A lot of professional boxers coming out or turning pro, they choose not to educate themselves.
Yeah.
They choose not to educate themselves on the sport. They choose not to educate themselves on the dynamic. And so many good, talented fighters that don't know the game, don't know the business, are caught up in the hype. Bad decisions are made, and their careers get in issues. Now you get the WBA, WBC, the IBO, all those wonderful belts, great. But yeah, William said it best. There's just so many that unless you are a huge pay-per-view star or a huge ticket seller, all those other sanctioning bodies are not going to keep you ranked. Period. You're done. You know, how can you be number one on WBC and be number 7 in the WBO?
Well, Rick, in another sense, also, you got so many managements that they're really not confident in the fighters that they're signing. They're ducking the other fighter that basically is much more of a problem for them. They don't want to take a chance on losing what they've built. Okay? And that's the difference. Everybody's fighting to keep that zero. Everybody's trying to keep, That
That's Floyd's
no,
fault.
it's not May. No, it's part Mayweather's fault. It's part Mayweather's fault. Okay, but it's management's fault. It's not Mayweather's fault. It's management's fault. You can't blame Mayweather for management.
No, you can blame Mayweather for teaching management nowadays how to save a fighter's zone and make about as much money as they can. So they just took Mayweather's thing.
But as the story goes, the belts bring money. Okay, if management was smart enough to realize the belt's going to bring money, and if you really believed in the fighter that you signed, you're going to put him in there with the best of the best to prove that you do have the best. Okay, that's what you're doing. That's what happened back in the 70s, 80s, and early 90s. The best was fighting the best for each and every belt. Yeah. That's why you had so many fighters that had multiple belts at that time, because the best was fighting the best. And it didn't matter whether or not they came out with a loss. Okay? But it did show that people were more interested in seeing the best fight the best, but even though they came out with a loss. And it made boxing so much more interesting, as opposed to
right now. We can go ahead and promise you this. This young man right here.
Oh, we know this.
He's going to do what he's going to do. And if the time comes and we got to step up to the plate to do what we got to do, the team is here, just built from the ground since he was 5 with the old school mentality. We're not here to be handed. We're here to earn it. So when the opportunity comes, he's got to do. The team is going to do what we got to do, and hopefully all our fans will support us along the way in his journey, which is going to be, like he said, a long ride.
That kid right there, I'm going to put plain and simple. I've been around the best of the best, and I've seen the best of the best do what they do. That kid right there, there's not anyone that will be in his weight class that could hold a candle next to him. Because that kid right there is born to be a 5-time world champion. Cut and dry.
Well, you guys heard it here first. Sherman Henson, trainer extraordinaire, is saying that we've got ourselves a bona fide future world champion and Hall of Famer, international Hall of Famer, that you can see right here in Tampa Bay. And that is going to be Saturday at 6. Doors open at 5. You need to be there by 6 in your seats so you can make sure you don't miss this young man, Isaiah, the icon.
What can the fans expect, Isaiah, Saturday night?
Tell us.
You can expect a world-class performance. Definitely, you can expect a performance of high caliber, high class. I'm a very professional athlete. I'm a professional athlete now, so I will continue to make my way through my journey of being a professional athlete.
All right, so shout out to Rob, who's all the way from the UK watching us tonight. He's one of our favorite fans, our international fan. So we love British boy, and he is a boxing aficionado. He loves the sport of boxing. And we also have to give William Hunter a shout out, as well as Auntie, who showed out tonight. Your number 1 fan.
Auntie said born a champion.
Born a champion is what she's declaring right now. Thank you so much, Sherman, for being with us tonight. And let's see. Oh, Rob says, do I need to get some money?
You ready to invest?
You ready to invest? Rob, let us know. Okay, we'll connect you up.
It's definitely a safe bet.
Yes, a safe bet right now. I trust this man Sherman with his boxing knowledge, especially with all the world-renowned tutelage he's had. during and before and while training himself. Let's see. We got CJ Hooker. He says, I wish they would go back to network TV and promote fighters in their hometowns. Let them build a following like Tommy Hearns did in Detroit. I miss the wide world of sports days.
Me too.
Well, I don't miss all them extra sports that's in there with it now. Come on.
I
don't miss all that.
You have to watch skiing, bowling, all kind of stuff before the fight come on.
I prefer Friday night fights with Teddy Atlas style, okay? I think they did an amazing job at showing us the best talent that was here in this country and globally. Before they got to the big stages of the HBOs and the Showtimes, you know, and the pay-per-view days. So I prefer that one because I'm not with watching no skiing and then watching some, track, and then we finally get to boxing like 3 hours in.
Hey Rick, I'm gonna ask Rick, do you remember James Scott when they used to televise from Rawway State Prison? You remember that back in the day? You remember that, Sherman?
I can't remember that.
Yeah, they used to televise from Rawway State Prison. It was a dude named James Scott, light heavyweight. And they'd be right at the prison, man, on Wild World or Sports Sunday.
I was pretty busy during that time.
Yeah.
He's telling his age now, guys.
Yeah, a little bit.
I thought it was with Worldwide Sports, but hey.
Wild World of Sports was on Saturday, then you had Sports Sunday on
I remember that,
Yeah.
I mean, I just can't imagine if they could do that for prison nowadays. Oh my God. Do you know how much talent is probably in prison right now today?
Oh, I'm sure there's a whole lot.
You know.
Plenty.
He was pro fighting in prison. He was pro too. Fighting out of prison.
Yes.
Best training camp you can possibly get.
Right.
but I want before we go, I want to say, Isaiah, I will be there to watch you dance.
All right, Sherman's in the house.
I'm in town already.
See, baby.
You gotta start driving tomorrow, Sherman.
I'm already here.
Oh, you here already? Oh, okay.
I'm already here.
Oh, all right.
Yes, I am.
Last night.
I wouldn't. Hey, let me explain something to you, Isaiah, son. And I called you, and I always said I was your other pops. I would not miss your pro debut for anything in the world, son.
Oh, man, that's all right. That's
special. This is your pro debut. This is a special day for you, man.
That's all right.
And I would not miss that for anything. And I meant that. You know, I told
God's
you that
gonna make me cry and show my
a
feminine
while
side.
back. Okay?
That's great.
I love you, man.
I love you too.
All right, that's what's up. We're gonna end the night with we're gonna have Isaiah give us his social media handles so people know where to find him.
Look what Rob said.
Well, Rob is saying, girl.
He said you can have my pension.
Oh, he said you can have his pension money. Okay, you a sure bet then. Okay, he finna get rich and live like a millionaire off some Isaiah money. Okay.
You got your pension.
Yep. He says.
Auntie said, "Cry, girl."
Oh, you want me to cuss again? Yeah.
Auntie said.
That was very sweet, though. Auntie, you know that was very sweet. I mean, I don't know too many people Sherman will drive all the way from DC to actually see. I'm telling you. I mean, wait a minute. He ain't even drove that far to see me.
Another star is going to shine on TNK.
Oh, David Bowser, shout out to him tonight.
Another star is going to shine on TNK Promotions show.
All right, I like that. Yeah. Getting some support around here, guys. And let's see. Rob says, "God bless you, Sherman."
Thank you, Rob.
Hunter said he's ready to sign right now.
You ready to sign?
Hunter, Right Hook Promotions.
You trying to sign Isaiah?
He's yeah. All right. Well, thanks for everything, guys. We're gonna end the show tonight by saying go to get your tickets from either Isaiah. What gym are you guys at most these days?
Right now we're locally. We go up to Signature Punch locally, but then when it's training camp, we're up in Four Corners Boxing Gym up in Newport Richie.
Oh, all right. Okay, so
that's Ryan camp.
Inbox Isaiah. Let him know.
You can reach me at _ Osozay, OSOZAY. That's my main social media that I be on. Everything is posted on there. My whole journey. TikTok, same thing. _ Osozay. That's about it. That's it.
Okay. Now, go ahead and inbox him if you need some tickets, or you can go to www.TNKBOXINGPROMOTIONS.com, and the link is right there on the homepage. You can click there and purchase your tickets right on Eventbrite. Thank you so much. We enjoyed you all tonight. Any parting words for these guys?
Isaiah, do y'all know what fight number y'all are? I mean,
no, we won't know yet, but it's definitely later on in the night.
Okay, cool.
Okay, we got a good slot here, but you still need to make sure you're there early because the doors open at 5 this time, guys. So let me show this flyer one more time. It's TNK Boxing this Saturday, the 6th. Right. We are talking about All or Nothing. We've got Taz, the Golden Child Brown, as the main event. Angel Ilarasa, The Bone, Baked Chicken Lewis. We got Imran Hadaba and Tommy Turner as well. Plus, we got Isaiah with us, debuting.
We got to get a picture with y'all before the night over with Isaiah, Rick.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt.
Definitely, we got to.
I'm sure we'll get an interview. I'm sure we'll probably have an interview after his fight. Guys, thank you so much for everything tonight. We're going to check you out later on. Well, actually, tomorrow for the weigh-in, we're going to be there covering it. So we'll see you guys there. Sherman, hopefully you make it on time, 4 p.m., baby. Okay.
I'll be there.
All right. Tell Miss Michelle I said hello.
I will.
Thank you guys for the love and support. We'll see you tomorrow.
Appreciate y'all, Rick. Isaiah. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. All right. Peace out.
All right, Sherman. See you tomorrow, man.
All right, love you guys. All right.
Yeah.